So today we have on the phone a special guest for an interview. His name is Jason Freese, so let's see if he is coming over air. So Jason, can you talk to make sure it's coming through?
Yeah, you're coming through. You're breaking up a little bit, but I can hear you.
All right. So you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, awesome. So, you've played with a lot of different musical groups, so let's start with like how you got into music. I know you were coming from a very musical family, for both your parents being musicians. So, how did that impact you as a child?
Yeah, it was, I kind of thought everyone's family was like, I kind of grew up with both my parents are musicians and both my grandparents are musicians, and you grew up in it, and you just thought that's how everyone's family was.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get older and you realize that you're not only is not everyone's family like that, but you're the only family like that.
Yeah. So, did you always want to be involved in music because of that?
No, actually, I never even thought of that ever. It was just kind of like, it was just the way it was. It wasn't like we were forced to or anything, or you felt pressured to. It was like you were in a musical family. There was instruments everywhere. Of course, you're going to play something. But it wasn't, my parents never pressured me to play music. It was just music's fun, and it, came easy, and there was instruments everywhere. So it was like, yeah, it was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, so you just kind of like started off by playing music. Did you have like any other hobbies you were interested in or anything like that?
Yeah, I played ice hockey really hardcore when I was a kid, and then even played in Germany and stuff. And I go back to Minnesota for summer camps and stuff. And then all this ice rink started closing down in California. So before Wayne Gretzky made California love the Kings and hockey. I was playing back when everyone went to the Kings games just to see fights, And so then all the rinks started closing down, so I was forced to quit.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'd already taken piano lessons for years from my mom, but I really wanted to start playing saxophone, so I started taking lessons privately, and it kind of went from there, and it became this kind of obsession thing where you just practiced all day, and you didn't realize that you had just practiced 4 hours, but you did. And
yeah,
just
because it's fun. It's not work.
Yeah, it was fun, and then you saw yourself getting so much better, so much faster, and then you're like, okay, I'll do it again tomorrow. Okay, I'll do it again tomorrow. You just kept on doing that. Before you know it, you were really good.
Yeah, so you played through middle school and high school. So after you graduated high school, is that just like what you were planning on doing? It's like, I'm going to go major in music.
Yes and no. I was already like playing professionally when I was in high school, like making money. So of course that made going to high school really hard, because it was like nights and weekends. I was already playing, making money. I had bought a car before I turned 16. I was just like, it was one of those things where I was going to go to college because my parents wanted me to, but I really didn't want to. And then I was like, well, I probably should. Then I was like, well, what am I going to major in? And I kind of didn't even want to major in music. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll major in music education. And I got like halfway through, and then I ended up quitting and going on a world tour with the guitar player in the Eagles, Joe Walsh. And then that was that.
So how did you land that gig with touring with Joe Walsh? Because that seems like your first like big break major headlining tour.
Yeah, it was really weird, actually. It was a friend of mine that I played in a punk rock band with. He was a tech for the Eagles. And he said, hey, Joe Walsh is going to fire his entire band and hire like 3 young guys and make it like a small rock band with a bunch of young guys. He's like, would you be interested in auditioning? And I said, sure. And then so I went to this little tiny strip mall in Garden Grove, which was really weird to have a rehearsal for one of the Eagles in a strip mall in Garden Grove. But I went there and I jammed with him, and he gave me the gig right there. And that was that.
Huh. So did you audition on saxophone for him?
No, he didn't even know I played sax. It was all keyboards. Because it was like all the work was always on keyboards. There's just not a lot of work on saxophone. So it was like, because I knew how to play piano good, because I'd taken my whole life and taken actually mostly for theory for jazz for saxophone. I just by default kind of got good at it, but I wasn't really planning on making a living doing it.
Yeah.
But then before you know it, it was like that's where all the work was. So then I was making a living playing piano, and now here I am 41, and I'm still making a living playing piano.
So you played with Joe Walsh, and like, what was your biggest gig after that? Because you eventually started playing with Green Day. So how did that happen?
I went straight from Joe Walsh to the Goo Goo Dolls, actually. And I played in Goo Goo Dolls for a while, and then I started playing with a girl named Liz Fair, and I toured with her for a bit, off and on, and then Green Day went to add a piano player to the band right before American Idiot in 2003, 2004, and the singer, Billy, somehow knew who I was through mutual friends, and I got a call, and they said, hey, Billy Joe would like you to jam with them. They want to add a piano player. Would you be interested? So I met them over at Capitol Records in Hollywood, and I listened to some of the demos of American Idiot, and they're like, would you be interested in doing this stuff and playing with us and joining the band? I said, yeah. And so that was that.
Yeah?
It was literally, it.
Yeah, like, whoever would turn down Green Day, you know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, exactly, right? So it was, but at that point, Green Day wasn't really a very conducive band to have a piano player. And so, and because that was before American Idiot, so all the songs were just like 2-minute long punk rock songs.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like, where's the piano going to fit into this stuff? So, it was kind of nerve wracking actually for me, because I was like, I hope this works. And I hope that this isn't like a square peg kind of fit in a round hole, is it going to even work? And then it did, of course, because American Idiot was very,
really
there's a lot
big.
of piano and organ and strings and stuff. So for me, that was, thank God, that was awesome.
So since Green Day isn't currently doing anything right now, what are you up to personally?
Well, actually, Green Day is halfway done with their new album. We're going to be
really?
rehearsing all summer long, and then we're leaving on a huge world tour in September, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, I just actually finished my first sax solo album, and I'm actually about to release it probably in the next week to iTunes. It's just under my name, and it's just me and the DJ and Sublime, and I kind of did it almost like Motown meets old Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Kind of tried to get away from jazz, and I'm not really, I play sax, but not really into jazz, I was more into funk and Motown and R&B, and that was the stuff that I was into, where most people who play saxophone, or trumpet or something, they go, well, you're obviously going to play jazz, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I was like, I'm not into jazz. I like funk and Motown and stuff. So, and growing up, in the 80s and 90s, I loved all the old Beastie Boys stuff and grew up with that stuff. And it was just kind of like, I was like, I got to figure out a way to kind of cross like Motown and kind of old hip hop. So I got the DJ in Sublime and got together with him and did this cool album, and it's really cool. I'm really proud of it. I just actually did a video too. You can see it on YouTube.
Yeah, I looked you up on
Freese.
YouTube to see if I could find like videos of you performing with Green Day, and that was the first video that came up. And I'm like,
that
song.
Yeah,
I love the song. The song's really cool because it's like not jazz.
Thanks.
It's like
it's
funky.
Kind of a crazy video.
It's really cool.
I kind of had to kind of go into left field with it, because I'm like, no one, when you think of saxophone, you think of smooth jazz or Kenny G, and I'm like, I have to take this thing so far away from Kenny G, else no one's going to care.
Yeah, because you have to make your own stamp for yourself that's totally different from what anyone else has done.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Well, gosh, I'm glad it came across that way, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it kind of cool and almost kind of punk rock almost,
Yeah.
Rather than jazz and smooth jazz and all that stuff that I really don't even like. But when you play a saxophone, people expect you to play that, and it's like, I don't want to play that stuff. It's like,
yeah.
I'd rather work at Starbucks than play smooth jazz. Well, not like working at Starbucks is bad or anything, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Is there anything that still scares you, like with your career and such?
Yeah, I mean, I think inevitably, as a freelance musician, it's like you don't have a retirement plan. You don't have, and I'm getting older and I'm married with kids, and it's like, I know I'm not old, but I'm 41. It's like, you got to be really careful with money now, because it's like you're sitting on, it's you're a musician without retirement and benefits and all this stuff, and it's like you get older and you're like, I got to be putting away money, because it's like you can't do this forever. I can't be on the road forever,
Yeah.
So I think that's the only thing that really scares me,
Mm-hmm.
I think that probably like any like freelance musician.
Yeah. Is for your career that you're at now, is there any highlight that just like you think about and it's like that was my favorite moment, my favorite performance of all time?
Yeah, there's Green Day played. We sold out Wembley Stadium. That was huge.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people in the world have ever done that. That was pretty amazing. I played at Live 8 at the Berlin Wall, and it like went to like there was like 200 over 200,000 people live, and it went to like over 2 billion people on TV.
That's crazy.
That was huge. Gosh, I think every time I played on Saturday Night Live, probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 times. It was like Saturday Night Live. I played the Tonight Show a ton, and Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel and Letterman and stuff. I played those. I think I played on Jay Leno like 13 times. But the first time you do it, it's awesome. And then after like the 4th or 5th, you're like, okay, it's still cool, but whatever.
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live for some reason just never gets old. Every time I play Saturday Night Live, it's like, this is really cool.
Yeah, I could not imagine performing in front of that many people because like I'm a clarinetist and it's like I'm not going to get cool gigs like that ever. Because who hires a clarinet?
Yeah, well, you never say never, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. The first time you do a couple of those massive, first like the first arena show you do, and then the first stadium show you do, and then stuff like that. I mean, that's always crazy. And then after you do a whole bunch, and it sounds jaded, but you kind of almost get used to it. It's like you don't ever get used to club gigs because club gigs, anything can happen, and club gigs are super exciting and crazy. But stadium and arena gigs are like you would think those would be the craziest and the most exciting, but people are so far away from you that it's hard to work off the audience when you're playing a stadium because the closest person to you is 100 yards away or more, and it's a football field away from you. And it's like, and then there's, 20,000 people who they're just specks. You can't even see them. We're a club. People are like in your face. And it's like, those are always the crazy, exciting shows. Funny enough, you know what I mean? Even after all these years, I still love playing club shows because those are, even though it's only for 150 people or something, it's just the excitement is always through the roof.
What's your advice for young musicians who are hoping to break into an industry like this?
I think 2 things that are really important is A, you have to practice because if you do get handed the opportunity, you better be better than everyone else. So practicing is huge. I think a lot of kids get lazy these days. It's like, no, I'm good enough. I'm like, well, how good are you?
There's
are you
always
good enough
someone
to go
better.
To LA? Yeah, like are you good enough to go to LA and play against the best like session guys in Los Angeles? You're gonna go head to head with those guys. You're that good, or you're just good for like a 16-year-old in a garage band good. Yeah. There's like different levels of good, but I think if you really want to stand out and you really want to make a career, you have to practice your ass off. I mean, I practiced 4 hours a day growing up. So it was like, I practiced and practiced and practiced, and I finally got the opportunity and then it worked out because I had practiced, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Cause you never know when that opportunity is going to hit you and you got to be ready for it.
You never know. And you better be ready for it if and when it comes. So it's, there's that, and then just play as much as you can. Because like I said, like my first break was playing in a punk rock band for 20 people, and the bass player just happened to work for the Eagles. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's like I had no problem playing for 20 people in a punk rock band, where some people are like, I'm not going to do that, That's, I'm not saying you should play in a punk rock band, but what I'm saying is take anything. Take every gig you get, because one of my smallest, stupidest gigs I ever had was the gig that gave me my biggest break. And it's like, just take the work, take it as much. You never know where you're going to be when you're going to meet somebody that, his brother is a booking agent in Los Angeles. Yeah. And he's going to go home and tell his brother about you and go, I met this girl, I met this boy that, last night that was unbelievable. You got to get his number. It's like, you never know when those opportunities are going to come up. So, I think that you just take every gig you can. Yeah, I know. I know last night. I think those are definitely 2 of the biggest things I could ever tell anybody, practice and take everything. And then, at some point, you keep on playing, at some point something will probably happen on some level. I know last night a bunch of the board members from the radio station went and checked out a metal show, and then we approached one of the bands afterwards that was really good, and we're like, hey, we want to put you on our station. They're like, no way, we'd love to be put on your station, here's an album. And it's like, Yeah.
Like something even as small as that gives maybe a few thousand listeners a day. Like someone could hear your music and be like, they're cool.
You never know who's listening. You know, out of those few thousand, there could be 2 or 3 people that are either have power or knows someone that does have power, and they go, you got to check out this band I listened on the radio show. It's like, that's what I mean. That's my point right there. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So what do you think of today's music industry and the music that's currently popular?
You know, it's funny. I'm kind of out of touch with a lot of the popular music now. A lot of the young music, a lot of these bands. Like I got a tattoo yesterday, and there's a band playing, and I go, who is this? And the guy that does my tattoos, my buddy, goes, oh, it's they were called Royal Blood.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never heard of them. And I was like, man, this band's amazing. And he's like, yeah. And I go, I wonder why a band like this wouldn't, get on Saturday Night Live or something like that. And he goes, well, because you'd probably be surprised. They're bigger than you probably think they are. Like,
yeah.
Probably. I don't listen to a lot of, I don't listen to the radio all day long and watch MTV. MTV doesn't even play music anymore.
Exactly.
So I don't even watch it. So, but as far as the music industry goes, it's a really weird time. The internet changed everything. I mean, I grew up playing, when there was no internet and there was no MP3s and there was no iTunes and there was music stores and record stores. And you would go buy the record or the cassette or and then the CD, and it was a hard copy in your hand. And then when this CD burning came in, and blank CDs, that changed everything. And then the internet completely changed it all. And now it's like, there's no record stores anymore. There's no music stores. There's no more Virgin Mega stores. There's nothing, and it's just like, there's no money to be made in it. So you have to tour. I mean, a band like Green Day who sold, 65 million albums, we have to tour. We have to. Because you can't sell CDs anymore. There's no way to make a living, even when you're as big as Green Day, just off of CDs.
Mm-hmm.
Or CDs, well, that's just like obsolete, just off of selling music. Because even on iTunes, they sell your song for $1.29, but you only make 10 cents. iTunes makes the rest. So it's like you ain't getting rich off of iTunes, and iTunes is the only place that you're ever going to make any money.
Yeah, it's like all the royalty fees that has to go to the big name company that's selling your music for you, and then you get like the tiniest profit.
And also because like now with record labels, there's no money in it for record labels anymore because of that, because they can't sell CDs.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you have to sign these things that are called 360 deals, which are they're your manager, they're your record label, and they own your merchandise. And that's the only way that a record label can even make any money, but it's a complete conflict of interest for the artist. It sucks for the artist because the artist just sold everything to their record label, and the record label owns them 100%. Everything about them is sold off. So it's like there's no creative control for artists these days, because if you do sign a record label, labels are only going to sign 360 deals for you, and it's just like it's a bummer. But at the same time, the good thing about the internet is
everyone can hear your music. It's so easy to access.
Everyone can hear your music. But there's just no money to be made.
Yeah.
But at least people can hear your music. I don't know. It's a catch-22,
Yeah. All right. Well, is there any other plugs you'd like to put in before I let you go?
I don't think so. Check out my website at jasonfreese.com, and you can check out the album. You can preview it there and watch the video, and then the album will probably be out on iTunes in the next week or so.
All right.
Trying to get up there on Spotify and everything.
And then
so that's it.
One last thing. Can I get you to say the station ID? So it's just say I'm Jason Freese and you're listening to KUGR Cougar College Radio.
Okay. I'm Jason Freese and you are listening to, wait, what is it?
KUGR.
KUGR. I'm like, wait, did she just say CUGR?
No, KUGR. It's Cougar spelt like cool.
Okay. All right. I'm Jason Freese and you are listening to KUGR Cougar Radio.
Awesome. Thank you. And if you ever feel the need to hook me up with an awesome interview with Billy Joe Armstrong or maybe even your brother or Joe Walsh, just feel free to give me a call,
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, Jason.
All right. You got it.
Bye.